Hey guys, welcome back to Not So Popular Opinion. The dynamics between men and women have gone in the wrong direction completely, to where women don't even see men as human beings, as people. They have become less helpful while also becoming more dependent on men, while claiming that men are useless, that men are like children, that men can't help themselves, while also sitting back and letting a man provide for their every need, and feel that it is just normal to just be under that man's protection and provisions while offering nothing in return. This is maybe the worst of one of those cases. Let's check this out.
Am I the asshole for telling my husband's coworker to stop coddling him by bringing a lunch for him? I acknowledge that my husband works a physically intensive job and very long hours, typically 60 to 65 hours per week on a slow week.
That is too much.
That's a lot of work. You should be working less.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate how hard he works so I can be home for our kids after school and during their time off.
Okay.
With that out of the way, onto the issue. He says he rarely has time or energy to pack his own lunch for the day. Oftentimes he falls asleep after getting home and doing the rest of his share of the housework and spending time with the kids. In the mornings he takes care of the dogs and some smaller household things before going to work. He used to ask me to help him by packing a lunch, and sometimes I would, but otherwise I tell him he needs to manage his time better by multitasking.
Oh my god.
Or waking up earlier because he's a grown man and can pack his own lunch.
You're gonna make me side with a man. I'm so
God
pissed
forbid.
at you. Fuck.
I have noticed for the past several months he doesn't always take his lunch bag with him. The other day I got curious as to how much he's spending weekly on eating out. Checking our account, I saw that every week he takes out or transfers $45, but no unknown restaurant charges. Considering current prices, I asked him where he's eating that $45 is lasting him all week, because I'd like to see what they got. That's when he told me he's not eating anywhere. He and a few of his coworkers give money to another coworker, and then his wife either packs breakfasts or lunches for everyone, for anyone pitching in, or drops food off at the drop site.
Oh, that's very nice.
I told him she's not their servant, and he needs to knock it off.
What if that's her job? What if she's just running a business?
Yeah, a little food business for $45 a week.
No, straight. I mean, okay. Well, I'll go
She's
into
making
it later.
her own money. No, you're right.
She's making money.
I told him she's not their servant and he needs to knock it off. Saturday, when he was talking to that particular coworker about a job they'd be doing all week, I leaned close to the phone and told his coworker to also stop giving him lunches and be better to his wife. I went on to tell them both all he was doing was coddling my husband and the others, and that they're adults. If they're worried about lunchtime, they'd take care of it themselves instead of depending on someone else, going to Wendy's to get coddled by the...
Some people hate community so much. Like, just hate building it. They hate other people.
Yeah.
Helping other people. They hate it a lot.
It's really depressing. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
We argued about it and still hadn't resolved the issue when he left for the job yesterday morning. Yesterday afternoon, I dropped the kids off with my parents and I was venting to them about it. Both of my parents told me the easiest solution would be to just do it myself or let him keep paying because it's one small thing to do to help make his job easier, then reminded me about how they packed each other's lunches whenever one of them had to stay home with us while growing up. Am I the asshole for telling my husband and his coworker to stop providing lunches for him?
Yes.
The nerve of this piece of trash to make up an issue. You are a stay-at-home mom whose kids go to school. There is no issue for you to have at all. What do you do all day to where you are too busy or too entitled to prepare this man a lunch? Women like to claim that being a stay-at-home parent is a 24/7 job. How, when your kids are at school for 8 hours? They are at school most of the day. What exactly are you doing besides just staying home? sitting on your ass, watching what? The soap operas that do still come on, watching daytime TV, watching what? The View. You aren't doing anything important. But they love to spin this whole, I work so hard, I'm working 24/7. Doing what? And then to come out here and just make up an issue. It's crazy. This man works 60 to 65 hours. And he still comes home, spends time with his children, and does his share of the housework. How he even has a share of housework after working that many hours while your kids are away at school most of the day and nobody is really home but you. There shouldn't be a share of the chores. Get your sorry ass up, do the little chores you have, unless your kids are a fucking typhoon when they come home and just destroy your home in the few hours that they are awake, when they're not eating and bathing. You are just a sorry excuse for a human being. Not just a wife, not just a woman, but a sorry excuse for a human being altogether. The nerve of some people. But that's this problem. Is that all women believe that the world exists just for them. Everybody on earth, their children, their boyfriends, just random guys that they see on the street are all there just to serve them. Modern women are delusional as hell, and they are extremely toxic and are so entitled, and nobody is checking them on this. Her parents really didn't even check her on this. They created this monster. Instead of, giving her baby talk, which they did in my eyes, because they weren't exactly real with her. They should have sat her sorry ass down and be like, look, you either stop your bitching and be a real woman, or just shut the fuck up and don't worry about where he getting his meals from or what he's spending his money on. You better be lucky that he even comes home to your ass. She has the time to drop the kids off, proving furthermore she is doing absolutely nothing. But she don't have time to make his food. And then to say that they're coddling him when he is literally doing everything by himself. A lot of women say, oh, I'm a single wife. No. This woman is a leech and a parasite. Nothing more, nothing less. He is clearly doing everything on his own. And somehow she thinks that everyone else is the problem. His co-workers coddling him. His co-worker is abusing his wife pretty much in her eyes because she makes them a meal. Let's ignore the fact that he's paying for this meal. Because his wife is too fucking sorry to do it for him. He's paying this woman. So she is not only knocking that her husband works 60 to 65 hours to provide for her sorry ass and his children. She is knocking that woman has the initiative to hustle to make money while also providing a hot or just any kind of meal for her husband and his co-workers. She's knocking the hustle of that woman. She's knocking the hard work of her husband and his dedication to his family. But somehow everybody else is the problem except for her. For her even to come on this damn show with this, am I the asshole? Clearly you are the asshole. You are not only the asshole, you are a piece of shit. That ain't even a question. You are a piece of shit.
You ain't lying.
How dare this woman see him as a child? and to tell him to manage his time better. What the fuck are you doing with your time to where being a good human being is a problem for you? Not only does the school system watch your kids, your parents watch your children. Clearly, you don't like them. You don't like their dad. You don't like anybody because everybody makes you angry. Everybody is a problem for you. People working together is how the world works. You are the outlier. You were more concerned about where he was spending $45 so you could see what he was up to with the 45 than rather seeing, that your husband had a meal. That was a problem for you. You question that more than questioning, why am I such a bad person? To where I feel like this man needs to manage his time better when he's working. Looking after the dogs, looking after the house, looking after the kids, and looking after your sorry ass. This woman is so incredibly useless and serves no purpose whatsoever. And I dare somebody jump into a conversation I'm having with somebody else to tell the person off that I'm on the phone with. This woman and this marriage belongs in the trash. Take the whole woman, take the whole marriage, and take it straight to the garbage. Because she realistically serves no purpose. Let's check out some of these comments. First comment here says he works a minimum of 60 plus hour work weeks while she's home. He has a share in the housework. Exactly. What? No, I'm not coming home and doing housework. If you sitting at home, not watching any kids, not doing anything, I'm not doing anything when I come home. You would think that this woman's actions would be inexcusable and nobody would take up for it. But that's where you be wrong. Wrong. This lady responds, of course he does. The wife works 24/7. If he's not helping with his children or his home. Plenty of single men work 60 hours. Who's cleaning their home? Bitch, if they're working 60 plus hours and they're single, they're not responsible for a whole family. They're not taking care of a wife and kids if they're single. So they have no dependents. So they know that's what their life is. And guess what? They can do whatever they want with their money. So they can afford to pay a maid or a chef or what have you. But a man with a wife and kids who work 60 plus hours, his money is going to his wife and kids. So if his wife isn't pulling her weight, if she is not working, then she doesn't need to be there. That's the difference. That's not even a question. There's nothing to compare here. Single and married is completely different.
You big goof.
Next person says, what man works 60 to 65 hours a week, hard labor, and then comes home and does housework, chores for a wife that stays home? Not me. I wouldn't either. Just no way. I could not imagine having to go through all that. I don't need a wife. Not a stay-at-home one. If I'm having to work that hard outside of home and then come home and do the same thing. Next person here says, rest of his share of the housework. A stay-at-home mom is to take care of the things in the house while he works 60 plus hours a week. Divorce. No question, without a doubt. Ain't no way. This woman here responds, you sound single. This person responds to her and says, you're not even giving a valid argument. At least say something other than some half-ass insult. That's what they do though. When they don't have a proper response, they lead with insults. This woman is crazy. She responds, she's a stay-at-home mom, not his mother. Her job is 24/7. He can do a few simple chores, unlike what the original comment thinks he should do. No, her job is not 24/7. This woman is not even a stay-at-home mom. She's just a stay-at-home lazy bitch. The kids aren't even there. By the time that man gets home from work, that's when the kids are coming home from school and probably their activities. So basically, he's working. He's taking care of the kids. He's making his own meals. And I'm assuming if she won't even make him a simple lunch, that he's cooking for her and the kids, taking care of the animals, then has to go to bed, get up and do the same thing while she just sits around and does what? Live rent free off of him? This person down here says, you're right. She isn't his mom. He should chip in. She should go get a night job while the kid is asleep to help pay the bills. He isn't her dad. Why is it okay for her to live rent free off of him like he's her dad, but she can't do anything to help him and make his life easier? Yeah, he ain't her dad. He is not to just take care of her. He didn't bring her into this world, so that is not his responsibility. Marriage is two people helping each other out. It's two people looking out for each other. If I'm providing and you're not taking care of the home, you got to go. The person here says divorce would have been on the way so fast. I work 60 plus hours to provide and you can't even pack me a lunch. Crying emoji. Yeah. And then to believe that providing this man a lunch is coddling, then what the hell is he doing for her if she just stays home and does nothing? That's more than coddling. This guy here says that's too much. You should work less. Well, we don't all have podcasts. Some of us don't have a choice. Yeah, that was very stupid for those podcasts to say. Nobody, if the man didn't have to work 60 to 65 plus hours to take care of that human garbage he has as a wife, he wouldn't. But everybody's life isn't as easy as yours is to just sit behind a mic and, make money off of it. Hell, I'm trying to do it. It ain't working out so far. But still, I do this in the little bit of free time I have myself. I work a bunch of hours. So, yeah, I'm like, that's just the way life is for most people trying to survive. So that was just a stupid take. This lady here says, why do I feel I'm the wife from this? This sounds like my husband's coworker's wife. Ma'am, I hope this isn't you. I hope that, your husband's coworker's wife is not the crazy lady that, messaged into this podcast. And if you are, the wife that's being discussed, thank you for what you're doing. Yes, you are getting paid for making these meals, but you are providing, something much needed to not only the husband that's suffering in this horrible marriage, but, to your husband's coworkers as well. After those long hours they're working, not having to think about coming home and, making a meal or preparing for the next day when they can just get home and rest, takes a lot off the mind. When my wife prepares my lunch for the next day and my breakfast, that's a huge weight off of me. It really is. I know that while I'm at work, while I'm, doing what I got to do to provide for my family, that when it's time, when my body calls for that meal and I really need that, it's there for me. And I know it was made with love. That makes the world a difference. It really does for a hardworking man. This person here says, instead of depending on someone else, what is she doing? But she don't see it that way. She sees her husband as, her puppet. I say go out there and work 60 to 65 hours. I say you're being a child if you don't make your own meals. I call, that she is just used to just taking advantage of people. Her parents were not true parents, clearly. Because she can just drop the kids off with them if she wants to. If she don't want to be bothered with her kids, she drops them off and then complains to them about her husband who's being coddled. and being babied by his coworkers because he's getting a meal brought to him. This woman is living on Easy Street. This lady here says, nope, all I had to hear was she told him to manage his time better. Hell no. If I get to stay home with the kids, you best bet I'm bringing you a fresh, hot lunch. I won't pack it because it'll get gross. I'll bring it to you fresh at work. Oh man, that's what I'm talking about. See, not all women are as horrible as this creature, from this story. This lady here gets it. This lady here will make a great wife for somebody, or if she isn't, already a great, spouse for someone, she is one of the good ones. This person here says, I don't want to be a housewife by any means, but if my man is working 60 plus hours, he's not doing any housework, and I'm for sure packing his food. Another one hits it out of the park. Last comment here says, if she is home with kids and he is working so much, she can make him lunch. I actually feel sorry for this guy. You know what? The podcaster said something about this. I'm going to just go off on this tangent. Why is it that, it's so hard for these ladies to feel for this guy or to, side with the man? This lady is wrong. That's just, misandry. That's all it is. A guy is wrong no matter what in their mind. So they can't even, empathize with the horrible life that this man has to deal with. It hurts them to actually feel sorry for a man. That's how they view it. That's why they say things like that. Or that's why, it's like, oh, you're making me agree with a man. You're making me feel sorry for a man. Man or woman, anybody getting treated like this man is getting treated, you should feel bad for. It shouldn't, burden you to feel like, man, this is some bullshit. Or feel like, this woman needs to be called out for this nonsense. She says things like he needs to manage his time better. The man is working 60 to 65 plus hours on a light work week. This is not even his heavy work weeks. Imagine how much time he is spending outside of the home working to provide for their family on heavy work weeks. I could only imagine. You should instantly feel bad for this man. Then for her to, be such of a jackass to be like that the other man's wife is being taken advantage of somehow and treated like a servant because she is getting paid to make food. So even the people at, say, if he went to Jack in the Box, McDonald's, Burger King, as long as they're serving her man, they're somehow becoming a servant even though they're getting paid for it. Clearly, she just hates her husband. No other way around it. She clearly despises her husband. I don't see how you can see it any other way. This woman is trash. Throw the whole marriage away. Find you a new woman. Ask that woman who's making lunches, does she have a sister or a cousin? But get rid of this trash immediately. Do you somehow agree with this moron? Do you somehow think she's not the asshole in this situation? Do you think preparing lunch for your hard-working spouse is somehow coddling them? Or do you think she's insane? All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting, and checking out another episode of Not So Popular Opinion. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.